Alright guys, we're going to be answering your guys' questions from my Ask Me Anything. So I posted this video on June 12th of 2018. Currently it is July 1st when I'm filming this video. I said I would answer the questions in the next week or two, I believe. I think I said week, so sorry, got pushed back a little bit. Been really busy with other things, but we're going to get to it. So we got 289 comments. I did mention that I would get to all your guys' comments, so I'm going to try to just get through as many of these as we can. I saw another YouTuber that I follow do a similar style video. He had a bunch of comments as well. He did like, I think it was 3 parts and they were all like an hour and a half each. Hopefully they're not that long for this series of videos at least. So we're just going to start banging through them. So let's just get started here. So I'm just going to go top to bottom. I don't know how YouTube does the comments anymore. It used to be chronological. It might be now. Whoever up-likes it the most and whatnot, so I'm just going to start going through them. Alright, so you should build a mock of the Halo 3 red versus blue. That's not really a question, but I'm going to answer it as if it was a question, as if he was asking, do I want to build more Halo? Yes, I do. Currently, I have D-Day. You guys can't see it. It's right over there. If you guys haven't seen that mock series, feel free to go check it out. But I've always wanted to do like a large Halo display with like multiple Halo Warthog, Scorpion tanks. I love Halo. My good friend Sean got me into the game like really heavily. I'd always played it. Like Halo 3 is like, if that's like my go-to game if I'm really bored. It's a really fun game. That's kind of what I grew up on as a kid. So I guess that kind of answers that question. Yes, I do want to start doing more Halo. I am working on some more Halo-related products. If you guys don't know, I make the Mark V armor. I don't know if you can see some up there or not, but that's all custom injection molded in the US. I'm really proud of that as a product. So let's see here. We've got, I'm actually going to start reading the names. I apologize. That was from Ethan. So here we have Pangs Bricks. How do you print onto Lego figures? I always have wondered how the process works. It would be awesome to see a tutorial on the process. Thanks for putting out the awesome Lego videos. Thank you, first of all. So, how do I print on Lego figures? I'm going to grab this Lego brick I found. So, the process I use, there's multiple processes. I'm going to try to summarize this. Most companies that do custom printing on Lego either do UV printing or pad printing. Pad printing is what Lego does. It is the smooth, there's no texture to it, but you're limited on how many colors you can use because every color you have to basically reprint it. So setups and overall cost goes up. Obviously not with Lego because the amount that they're producing, the production numbers are insane, so they don't have to worry about cost. But what I use is what's called UV printing. I don't have a minifigure that I've printed sitting next to me, but basically UV printing is you take, let's say, your brick, you put it in the machine, it lays down a layer of solvent ink, then the UV light, hence the name, UV printing, cures that ink instantly onto whatever you're printing on. Obviously, it doesn't have to be Lego. This process is used for other things, t-shirts, printing on golf balls, other promotional items. So that's kind of how the process works. The main reason, so let's see, how do you print on a Lego? So I use obviously a UV printer. A lot of people ask me what brand do I use and whatnot. I don't give out that information, but I can tell you my specific printer was around $30,000. So it is not a cheap piece of equipment. It takes up a lot of space, and you really have to be able to print a bunch to make back your money. You know, otherwise it's just not worth it. So that kind of answers the question. I know a lot of you guys have been asking that. So I might do a separate video talking more about that. I won't be doing tutorials. I've thought about it for sure. There's like 5% chance I will in the future, but that kind of answers, I hope that answers your question, Pangs Bricks. So, Warrior Bricks asks, what's your favorite Lego minifigure? Custom Lego brand or any others? So, that's a great question, first of all. I mean, I got all my minifigures back there that you can kind of see. I really like the Banana Man from the series minifigures. I don't know what series he's from. I have one of those. That's a really cool figure. Another one of my favorite minifigures is the classic Jawa from, I think it was the original Sandcrawler set. I don't know why. I think that's a cool figure. What's another one? I'm just giving a couple here. I like the original C-3PO. It's kind of like the tan color. It's not like a pearl gold, but it's like a tan color. I think that's kind of cool. So that's some of my favorite minifigures. Thank you for the question, Warriors Bricks. You should try. So this is from Afro Boy. You should try to build a futuristic battle for your next Mach. That's another question I get often is, what's my next Mach going to be? I've thought about doing futuristic. That kind of comes with the Halo sci-fi. Thought about Star Wars. I just haven't been into Star Wars recently. If anything, it would be something episode 3 or 2 related, something clone related, or maybe Stormtrooper related. So I don't see myself doing anything futuristic other than possibly Halo in the future. So that answers that question. Brickmaster says, hey, can you make more Battlefield 1 armored cars? Basically, that kit... So what I'm working on now as far as kits, I've got the anti-aircraft gun that I'm working on restocking. So a lot of you guys have been asking me to restock that. The Rolls-Royce and the Panzer Jagger, and then if you guys know the LVT that's on my website, all those are going to get restocked in some small quantities, like 5 or 10 batch size, hopefully within the next month or two. I'm working out some kinks as far as getting parts and instructions made. Once those are good, those will be coming out, so don't worry about that. Those are coming. It just takes a lot of time to gather all the parts, sort them out, make sure all the parts are there, get the instructions printed. It's a long process, but I'm working on it. So thank you for the question, Brickmaster. Is this your most favorite Mach you've built so far? Will there be any World War related Machs coming after this? I'm assuming he's talking about the D-Day Mach, and then he also asks, are you building any more vehicles for the Americans other than the Higgins boats and Stuart? So it's just going to be right now the Higgins boats, the Stuart, and then the Sherman tank. When I filmed this original video, I hadn't talked about the Sherman, but I think that's going to be confirmed. So those are the only American vehicles as of now. That could change. There might be a Jeep. I don't think I want to put a Jeep there. I kind of like the setup right now. So for now, that's all there's going to be. Let's see. Favorite Mach you've built so far? Man, I really like Palilu. Looking back on that, I really like how much detail I put into it. I was actually, looking back on it, I'm actually very impressed that that's the Mach I was able to make, because I think it turned out pretty good. And then Sinai, I mean, obviously that was these two tables here size Mach, which is pretty insane, and I don't know why I did that, because that took literally over a year to make, but that was really cool. And of course, the Battlefield 1 hype and community and myself loving the Battlefield franchise, that was really cool. So that's probably the favorite Mach, either Sinai or Palilu. So, and then any more World War related Machs coming after this? That's a good question. It's either, a lot of people want me to go back to Vietnam. I changed on the fly. I was starting with the Battle of Saigon, and then we switched to Sinai. So Vietnam to Battlefield 1 or World War 1. And this is World War 2. I'd like to do something different. It's either going to be modern military, Halo, or Vietnam. Those are kind of the top three. I really want to do modern military, so that's kind of a hint at maybe what's to come. I don't know yet. We still got a solid maybe 5 weeks left on this D-Day Mach series, so I'm not too worried about the next Mach just yet. So I'm skipping over, if they're not questions, some of them are just comments, so I appreciate the comments, guys, but if they're not questions, I'm not going to respond to them. Will you put a Stuart tank in? Yes. That's from Malin, the person. Let's see. How do you get your torsos, print, and legs? Is it custom made, or do you buy it from another? Do you make your own weapons, or do you buy... I don't know if he speaks the best English, but that's from Jabbar Nistraro. I totally butchered that name. I'm sorry about that. But basically, he's asking do you make your own custom weapons or buy them from other companies? I make almost all the weapons. Some of the minifigures that I sell as like a full minifigure come with other companies' weapons and accessories, but like all the main loose weapons on my website are pretty much 99% I make. Some of them I'm reselling to get rid of, but most of them I make myself. Once again, we talked about printing, so I'm not going to answer that again. Let's see here. Not a Vlogger says, do you think a half-track would look cool at the back with troops pouring out? He's talking about the D-Day Mach. I had mentioned that in the back I wanted to put possibly like a troop transport truck with a bunch of troops coming out of it. A half track is a good idea. I didn't even think about that, to be honest. But a lot of you guys said you don't like that idea because in D-Day, historically, there weren't a lot of armored vehicles or vehicles of any kind at that Atlantic wall. So probably not going to be doing that, but it does sound pretty cool. So let's see here. Waffle Bills ask, how can I get World War II minifigures for cheap? So there's a couple ways you could do this. There's decaling, there's custom painting, there's some of the companies like myself, we make kind of army builder minifigures that are, affordable. They're not the $25 to $35 really high-end custom printed minifigures. They're more like 10 to 15. So decaling's great if you want to get into it cheap and start learning about custom minifigure customization. That's great. There's a lot of tutorials on YouTube. There's even a couple good magazines from was it Brick Journal, I believe, did a couple. That's a great magazine. I have that one. So decaling, painting, it's kind of up to you. Obviously, you could go the Sharpie route, but I don't recommend that. So that's kind of answering that question. Lego Harry asked, will you do a futuristic war mock? Probably not futuristic war. Like I said, Halo, but not futuristic war. Let's see here. How many tanks do you have? World War II. That's from Ant Animations. Well, I have the Sherman Stewart. I've got Hellcat, Panzer, and a couple others. So like maybe five, six. Let's see here. How do you get the money to build every mock? That's from Niels Dolly, I believe. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, but how do you get money to build every mock? That's a great question. So, oh no, did I reset? Okay, I'm good. Couple ways. One misconception people get is that the X39 Brick Customs is paying for the mocks. That is not true. X39 Brick Customs is its own entity, being the company, and then there's everything else, and everything else includes the mocks and whatnot. So, if you guys don't know, I work a full-time job outside of all this. YouTube does pay me for all the advertisements on this channel. So that money goes to this, and then just saving up and being smart with your money. So that's kind of how I pay for this. And obviously, once you get all of these parts, you can just reuse them. So, for example, the Sinai Desert, I had a lot of tan. So I was like, let's make a mock with some more tan because I don't feel like spending the money right now to buy more parts, because Lego's not cheap, it's very expensive. So that's how I get my money to do all this. So let's see. Another question from him is, how old are you? I'm currently 18. I just turned 18 in April. Let's see. So this comes from Turtle Fun Studios. Can you make a stop motion? If not, why? Also, your mocks are good. Thank you. Stop motion, I did some of it. That's kind of what got me into YouTube, is I really liked the idea of those stop motion animations. I used to watch like everyone. I would type in Lego Star Wars animation. I'd watch every single one multiple times a day, the same ones over and over. So that's what kind of got me into YouTube. I started playing with it. If you go back, or if you just look up ClonetrooperX39 stop motion animations, you can see some really crude bad ones that are like, it's just bad. Like, they're really old. I remember making them though. Reason I don't do them now is, one, because they take a lot of time that I don't have. I'd love to. I think these mocks would make great battle scenes for them. Like, a lot of you guys wanted me to do one for the Sinai Desert. Obviously, that would take a lot of time, and I just don't have the patience that some of these guys have to sit down, spend a couple hours to get like a 30-second, not even like a 10-second scene. So, for example, my good buddy Austin, Frame 5 Studios, I give all those guys mad props because they are very patient and meticulous. If there's one piece of dust or hair in a shot, they redo it just because you can't edit that out. Sometimes you can, but there's a lot of time involved, a lot of editing. I'm not the best editor out there. I know the basics. I know how to trim and clip videos together, put sound overlays, swap audio, adjust that. Other than that, I don't know much else. I'm all self-taught. So that's the main reason I don't do it. I'd love to get back into it, but once again, very time consuming. Let's see here. Let's see. Jack Chris asks, what's your favorite mock over the years? Already answered that. Sinai or Plilu. I'm trying to, if they're repeat questions, I'll bring them up, but I'll just kind of re-answer them. How do I grow my Lego animation channel? So this is from Hugo on Blitz. So thank you for the question, Hugo. How do you grow your Lego animation channel? Just keep posting. I'm sure there's going to be more questions about how to grow a YouTube channel in here, so I'm going to kind of talk about that now. Post as much as you can. Even if you don't think it's good content or videos, just post it. Just don't worry about it, just post it. Just keep posting. Now that doesn't mean every day post 10 videos. You know, maybe post once a day if you can. Maybe start off maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe every week, every other day. I've been doing this since 2010, so 8 years of my life, almost half my life I've been doing this. I've posted every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday has been my schedule for like the past 2 or 3 years, but over those 8 years I've posted over 1,000 videos, and if you do the math, it's like a video every 3 days for the past 8 years. That's pretty crazy. So just keep posting. Even if you don't think they're going to be good quality videos, just post it. You'll get feedback, improve. Make sure you read your feedback and try to improve upon that, because otherwise you're just going to be hitting your head against a wall more or less, because you're going to be posting the same content. And if you're not adjusting and trying new things, you're not going to go anywhere. So try new things, keep posting, take advantage of social media, Instagram, Twitter, Flickr, Facebook, all those good things, and just start getting your name out there. That's all you can do. I started doing the same thing. I kid you guys not, I did not know the point of subscriptions on YouTube. You know, when you hit subscribe, I didn't understand that until probably 3 years ago. So I'm 18 now. So when I was 15, throughout that 5 years I'd been doing YouTube, so 2010 to 2015, I didn't understand. I would always say, comment, rate, and subscribe. I never knew what that meant, other than, it's a number there. And I was like, that's cool, let's get that number as large as possible. But then I realized, oh, there's an actual subscription feed. What's that? Oh, that's showing me everyone I subscribe to's videos. I never understood that, surprisingly enough. So once I learned that, I started to realize how YouTube actually works. I like to think now I know how the algorithms work, and I understand YouTube as a company more. So, like I said, get your name out there, post as much as you can, and just start. Just start posting. And like I said, that's what I did. I started posting. I wasn't in it for the views or the money or anything. I just wanted to make videos, and I think I like doing that, so I enjoy it. So next question, Geico69 Gaming says, do you own a 3D printer? If not, you should invest in one, because it's very easy and you can print some nice Lego guns, bricks, and I've even found some helmets. Yes, I own one. So I own 2 3D printers. I own a standard SLA printer, and then a FDM printer. So filament based versus stereolithography. I don't know how I pronounce that. But basically, yes, you can print Lego sized guns. They are not very high quality compared to injection molded, like Lego bricks are. And the technology for 3D printing is just not there yet. I think it will be in the next, I say 5 years, but probably really 2 or 3, if that, where you can actually print really high resolution, small, detailed items. It's not there yet. All the companies that do this do injection molding, obviously, just like Lego, because it's high quality. The surface finish of the actual part is really nice, and you can do it in large quantities, semi-large. So 3D printing is still slow. It's not as detailed as far as what it can produce, and it's just slow. So that's kind of the main barrier. But yes, I do have 2 3D printers. Let's see. DinoMan2189 says, can you do a Lego World War III Mach? Probably not. That's just not something I'm into. The apocalyptic stuff, not really my thing. What's your favorite Mach I've ever built? That's from Lego Marine Streak 33. Already answered that. Do you take your Machs apart when you're done? That's from Lit Lego. Yes, I do. So I sort all my Machs. I have multiple bins like under these tables, all throughout my room, in my closet back there. Everything I try to sort, not perfectly, not down to every piece and color, but crudely, these are all tan parts. Okay, those go here. Maybe I have a bunch of tan 2x4 bricks. I'm going to sort those out so it doesn't clutter the whole tan bin. So I try to sort things, generally, but I'm not very particular, because as long as I know I have it and I can find it, it's sorted for me, so I'm fine with that. Tien Ho asks, do you build a mini Mach series again? Or I think he's asking, should I or will I? I am. I'm working on an ideas list of different mini Machs. If you guys have any, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. Let's see. He also asked, are you going to restock the Rolls-Royce armored car? I had mentioned that. Yes, I will be. AA Plays asked, do you play Fortnite? I have. I played maybe a couple hours on it. Not my favorite game. I more prefer either Rainbow Six or PUBG. I'm really into. Once again, I don't have a whole lot of time to play video games. I play maybe 5 hours a week, maybe an hour a day. Other than that, I don't play much. So those are kind of my favorite games. Let's see here. Harvey asks, what is your favorite Mach and Lego Soldier? Already touched on the Mach. Lego Soldier, I'm assuming maybe you're talking about on my website. I really like my US Marine, the sand green US Marine. I really like that one. Really clean looking, basic, but it looks good. Let's see here. Tom Sasso, will you go back to Vietnam? If you do, could you do Hue City or something like the Tet Offensive? I have thought about the Tet Offensive, and like I mentioned, one of the next mocks is either going to be Vietnam, Halo, or Modern Military. So if we choose Vietnam, I'll revisit which ideas I have. Those are obviously some good ones, so that's something to consider when I'm done with this mock. But for right now, focusing on D-Day and D-Day only. Let's see. Harvey also asks, yeah, same guy. Harvey also asks, do a face reveal. It's kind of awkward. Let's see. Journey streams, how much money do you have you spent on Lego? Don't say a lot. I could give you let's see. It's in the tens of thousands of dollars for sure. I can tell you that right now. I don't know a specific number. I wish I did, that'd be cool, but it's a lot. Yeah, so sorry I said a lot, but it's a lot. Logistics is overrated. How do you pay for all the Legos? On Bricklink, do you have a second job? Already mentioned that, yes, I do. Alex Plays, is it hard in making custom minifigures, and did you ever fail to make some custom minifigures? So I've been reading through these comments as they were coming in when I posted this video, and I saw that comment and I started thinking about it. So yes, I failed a lot in everything I did. You can go back in my channel and see really old, really bad, in my opinion, mocks, creations, minifigure stop motions, videos in general. So if you just go back and look at like my first weekly update and then you look at this current situation, a lot has changed. So yes, fail fast, fail cheap is a great saying that this YouTuber John Saunders says. Really like that saying. So just get out. And then another thing, Microsoft is all about fail fast. It's better to fail now and just figure it out and learn from your mistakes now and then just proceed moving on. So yes, I have made mistakes, especially with printing. That took I'd say a year or so of critiquing how I like it, what colors do I like, how to actually hold the minifigures on the machine itself. Lots of trial and error. So yes, I have failed numerous times, especially with custom minifigures, especially with painting. I'm not the greatest painter. I have really shaky hands. Have you ever built a Lego Pug from Dakinus64? No, I've not. Let's see. Matthew Gaming Zone, where do you get the German World War II Legos, or are they custom made? So the Germans that I'm using in D-Day, once again, just generic Lego parts. However, I do all the custom printing on them, so they're custom and I make them myself. Drew Plays 32, are you / can you build a vault from Fallout? I have thought about that. I've never actually played the game. Really cool concept of a game. I've done some research on the kind of backstory of the game. Really cool, but I won't be building one. Let's see. Biscuit Bricks or Builds says, how do you print on your Legos? Yes, a bunch of questions here. I already mentioned how to print on Legos. Where do I get my Lego? Either Lego themselves on their website or bricklink.com. How many years have you had Lego for? Probably since I was 5, so 13 years now. Let's see, do you check out fans' YouTube channels? Yes, I do, especially if they comment something very nice or they ask a very specific question, or they stuck around to the last part of the video and commented, I definitely go check them out and normally try to reply to their comments and go like some of their videos. Let's see. Okay, that's it. Thank you for the questions, Biscuit Builds. How many hours do you work for your own business? That comes from War to Brick. So I would say, let's see here, at least 40, if not more, because I work all weekends. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm working as much as I can, working on developing new products, either building, filming videos, taking pictures for social media. So I'm constantly working. I don't really have a set time frame. I just, as much as I can, I just try to work because I enjoy it, and the more you work, the faster it's going to grow. So that kind of goes back to the YouTube channel thing. The more you work at that, it's going to grow faster. If you don't work at it, it's not going to go anywhere. But for example, I had a good buddy of mine. He might be watching this, and you know who you are. I'm not going to say your name, but you know who you are. He reached out to me. This was like maybe 3 years ago. He texted me and he goes, "Peyton, I'm trying to grow my Instagram account. What do I do?" And I was like, "Well, what's your Instagram?" He gave it to me. I checked it out. I was looking at it, and there was maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 posts. He has a pretty good following on YouTube. I'd say like, I think 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers, maybe less. Maybe I'm overestimating that, but he had like a solid maybe 500 people subscribed to his YouTube that he was trying to get to follow him on Instagram. On Instagram, he had less than 100 followers, and like I said, he had like 2 posts on Instagram, and he texts me and he's like, "Peyton, my Instagram is just not growing." And I'm like, I look at it and I'm like, "Well, you're not posting." And he's like, "Well, that's a good point." And so he started posting, and now he's a couple thousand followers on Instagram. And it was just funny to me because it to me it's obvious, but to some other people it's not, because if you have an Instagram account, the only way you're going to grow is through posting. Same with YouTube. No one's going to subscribe to your YouTube channel if you're not producing content. What's the point? So that's one of the main things, is just to keep on posting. That was just kind of a side story. Let's see here. Matthew Marshall asks, "Recently I've wanted to make a World War II Mach, but I am low on parts and I don't want to order Bricklink or Pick-a-Brick. Any suggestions as what to do?" So if you don't have a lot of parts or a lot of money, what you could do is make the mini Mach. So maybe like a 16 by 16 plate. If you just type in my channel, ClonetrooperX39 mini Machs, you can see what I've done. They're just tiny Machs, maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 minifigures, and you can make some really detailed ones. Like for example, I don't think you can see it up there, but there's a small Japanese mini Mach I built. I keep it up there because it looks cool. It's small. There's no point to take that apart because it doesn't take up a lot of space or pieces. So that's one thing you could do. So maybe try that out. He also asked, "What is better in your opinion, Battlefield or Call of Duty?" That's a very heated debate. I'm personally started out playing Call of Duty, but I've moved on to Battlefield, and now I'm like a hardcore Battlefield fan. Not like really hardcore, like I don't play it a whole lot. I honestly haven't played a Battlefield game in probably like 6 months to a year. But Battlefield 4, I play that so much. I'm like the max level 140 on that, I think. Me and my good friend Trevor, Lego MEME12. If you guys remember that name, me talking about him on this channel, let me know in the comments down below. He's an old friend of mine. So yeah, I play Battlefield more, but I did start off by playing Call of Duty. Can you please make a custom Desmond Doss from Hacksaw Ridge from Pigcraft? I do not know who that is. I've actually never seen that video. I want to, but I've never seen that video, so I'll have to check that out. Thank you for the question and suggestion, though. Here we go. My good buddy Star Wars Studio 100 asks, "Will you ever make the Shin Hodo tank a kit, and when can we talk again?" So he's talking about, where is that? I just had that kit. Okay, well, it's somewhere. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, so he's talking about this kit. So this is designed by Lego Guy 830, one of my good friends, Elliot. He said, "I'm totally okay if I want to make this a kit." Obviously, as you can see, it's a camo tank, so there'd be a lot of different parts, and it'd be really hard to make. The tank itself is beautiful. The scale couldn't be better, and he's even got an attachment for a bulldozer blade on the front. I didn't build that. This was used in my Battle of Palilu, but man, is this a cool tank. It's solid, looks amazing. It'd probably be like $200 to $300 is my guess, just because of all the custom. Some of these pieces are hard to find in these camo colors, but that is something I am working on along with some of the other projects. So I'll set that off to the side here. But yes, I will work on that. I'm probably going to work on getting the Rolls Royce, LVT, all that stuff made, but I am going to be making the Stuart tank a kit and that a kit probably at the same time. I don't know when, hopefully by the end of this year maybe. Just keep bugging me about it, because I will. And then when can we talk again? Hit me up on Discord, man. We can talk whenever you want. Let's see here. Bricks in Motion. Why are your products so expensive? I just don't understand. There must be a reason. Okay, great question. Comes back to the printing. So I'm just grabbing my Lego brick for an example. That printer, like I said, is $30,000. So if you do the math, even with a, let's just do the math right here. So if I pull up my calculator, if we take $30,000 and we divide that by $25, that's 1,200 figures, let's say. And I'm obviously not making 100% profit on those minifigures, so you could double or triple that number. That's a lot of custom minifigures to sell, to pay for that machine. So that just shows why everything's so expensive, because these machines that all these companies like Lego and all these other third-party companies use, like myself, the machines are not cheap, so we have to pay for them, and that's why the prices are what they are. So I hope you understand that now a little bit better. So thank you for the question, though. XTXY Gaming asks, how do you print on Lego minifigures, and please make a video about it. And what are your Lego ordering sites? Already mentioned those, so thank you for the questions. What will your next mock be by Brick Attack? Already answered that. Vero Views asks, why are Lego minifigures so expensive? We already talked about that. What kind of printer do you use, and what are the costs of such printers? C Bricks Tutorials asks, once again, I already answered that. Let's see. What did you graduate with in college? If this is a personal thing, that's fine. So I graduated college and high school at the same time. Another one of the questions I saw briefly in there was, how did I do that? So obviously I'm 18, I have my associate's degree and high school diploma. So I'm going to do a separate video probably about talking about that, because a lot of people brought that up. But the official AAS degree I have is machine technology, so I'm technically a machinist. That's what my other job is. I'm a machinist, so if you guys don't know what that is, look it up. But basically, it's metalworking. I'm programming million-dollar pieces of equipment to make parts for, it could be anything from the automotive industry, the oil and gas industry, space, aerospace is a big one now with SpaceX taking off, and it can be anything from a small car part to a large, turbine engine for a Boeing plane. So a lot of cool stuff. I think is really cool. More on that in later videos, though. So thank you for the question, Pangs Bricks. Here we go. H2 Brick. How's it going, man? Will you be releasing some of the Tron figures on your website or at a convention? So he's got two questions, it looks like. So I'm going to answer the first one. Yes, those should be out. When I'm filming this, which is July 1st, those should be out by July 15th, hopefully. If everything runs well, they will be on the website by then, if not sooner. They are being printed now, so yes. Also, how many parts have you used so far on your latest mock? There's a lot of water studs. That's probably like, I don't know, a couple thousand there. I'd say under 10,000, but pushing it, maybe 8,000 or 9,000. I'm not really sure, but yeah. So thanks for the questions, man. Let's see, we got CO Clone Commander, or Co-Clone Commander. Hey X39, I do an interview show on my channel. I was wondering if you could come on to it in the future. I'm totally, I would love to. Just shoot me an email, go to my website, go to the contact page, there's an email there. Send me an email and we can figure things out, and email back and forth and set something up. I'm totally fine with doing that. You just got to contact me other than YouTube, because there's not really a good way to contact or talk back and forth on YouTube. So shoot me an email and we can figure things out. Let's see. X40 Battlefield asks, 2 questions. When will you be done with the D-Day mock? He's got 2 questions, so I'm going to answer one at a time. Hopefully within the next 5 to 10 weeks. Second question, when will you restock the anti-aircraft gun? Like I said, Parts are slowly coming in. I don't know when you guys are seeing this video, but there will be some haul videos talking about some of those parts. I'm saying maybe the next 2 weeks, hopefully, if everything goes smoothly. Obviously, sometimes the orders don't come in on time. Let's see here. History Brick asks, are you interested in history? If so, what war most interests you? Also, what are the YouTube requirements for earning money? Okay. Am I interested in history? Yes, that is by far my favorite subject, or was my favorite subject in school. So obviously, with all the military stuff I do, I love history, like a lot. I will sit down and watch just countless documentaries. I love documentaries on Civil War, you know, World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Cold War. Cold War is really cool stuff. And that kind of goes to his second question. What's your most... what's the war that most interests you? And I'd say probably Cold War or Vietnam War are the most interesting, but I really like World War II just because of the sheer scale of it, and there's just so much, not only technological breakthroughs, but you know, just everyone was involved. There's so many angles from political views and whatnot. I find it really interesting to try to wrap my head around what these different powers were thinking of and why they did what they did. I think that stuff's really cool. And then what are the requirements for earning money on YouTube? So those have changed. Since I've started, they have changed a lot. Don't quote me on this. Just Google search YouTube partnership requirements. I think you'll be able to find something there. But basically it's changed. When I started, it was you had to apply for what's called YouTube Partnership. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore, but that was a really hard process. You basically apply, and you'd get an email back in like 2 to 14 days, and it would tell you, yes, you got in, or no, you didn't. If you did, you could start putting ads on your videos. The first, I think, I applied once or twice, and I don't think... maybe I didn't have enough viewers or something. I think you had to have a couple of requirements back then, but it was really kind of just, that was like such the early stages of YouTube, because YouTube started, I believe, in 2005 or 4, and so that was 2010, and I don't think from what I remember, I just kind of applied, and it was just kind of luck. I got in, and now I think you have to have 1,000 subscribers. I think you have to have 100,000 views or something like that. All those things are very doable. If I could start over, I wouldn't, but if I had to, you could get there very quickly if you just keep posting videos and start developing a fan base. So feel free to look those up. Don't quote me on that, but things have changed from when I started 8 years ago. Let's see here. The Brick Baron, you got 2 questions here. When did you start building Lego? Let's see, my first Lego set was the Clone Turbo Tank. I'm looking at it right now. It's up there on my shelf, the 2005 version, I believe it is. And that's when I got like my first Lego sets and I started getting into it. Started building probably when I was about maybe 7 or 8, so 2008, let's say. Does your store fund your Lego Machs, or does the money come from somewhere else? So I did talk about that. The store money is its own separate entity, and then I pay for everything like Machs and Lego sets, anything I want, just to have cool stuff, more or less. So that answers that. Thank you for the questions. Let's see. Chaos 12 Productions. Why did you not go to Brick World Chicago? So let's see. I think that just happened like a couple weeks ago. I didn't go because I didn't get a vendor table. It's kind of hard to justify going to a Lego convention and not vending. So they say I should have a good chance to get one next year. If I get a vendor table, I will be going 100%. So I will see you next year, hopefully, if I get in. Let's see here. Are you going to BrickCon in Seattle both days? That comes from Wasserman Clan. Yes, since I live like 20-30 minutes from that convention center, I go every year. I got a table this year. I will be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday night, so basically Saturday and Sunday, I will be there selling my products. Thanos 1634 has a couple questions here. Can you restock the Wolverine Sniper? Man, all this talking is making me not be able to speak. Wolverine Sniper, that one I won't be restocking. That was a old Brick Mach minifigure. That's my good buddy Chris. I was helping him sell those. So those, once they were gone, they were gone. Like, he had a set amount of them, he sent them to me, and we sold them, so they're gone. I might restock them, I might not, but most likely not for a very long time. And then, can you do Fortnite custom minifigures for your shop? Thought about that. Once again, I make whatever I personally enjoy, and like I said, I played Fortnite. It's not really my thing. I understand why people like it. I just prefer more realistic, something like PUBG, more military kind of based. Let's see here. Why are figure? This comes from Padraig Pierce. Why are your figures and accessories so expensive, and why do you have to pay for shipping when we win something? So this is a good question. So we talked about the minifigures and whatnot with all the different machineries and whatnot. So the whole thing with my giveaways, he brings up a good point. So with my international viewers especially, international shipping I think is $14 or $15 minimum for like 1 ounce. So like if I wanted to send just these couple Lego bricks, like that's technically an ounce, and it's going to cost that much to ship it. So when you guys win something, if I'm giving away like a $25 figure, you're basically getting it at a discounted price. I know I mentioned, so I had changed that rule halfway through Battle of Sinai, more or less, and it used to be I would pay the full price, but then all of a sudden I'm sending like every week an international order, and that's $15, $30, $45, $60, and that adds up. So it's kind of a win-win. If you guys really want it, you pay the shipping and you get the value of the product, so it kind of cancels out. If you don't, no big deal. But I definitely understand the concern of the question. I wish that shipping was cheaper. Everyone does. It's just what it is. So I'm sorry about that, guys. The next question, that Buzzkill comes. He says, "Why are your customs so expensive? I want them, but I don't have as much money." I mentioned that. He also mentions he wants to buy enough for an army. We did also talk about some other alternatives if you want to build up your, either military, it could be Star Wars, anything like that. Decaling or painting is a great option. Let's see here. Man, Roki's 46. Do you have any tips on how to build shell craters? I'm building a small battle of the Bulge Mach, and I'm looking for tips. Go back in one of my D-Day videos. I did talk about that. I showed some of the different steps. But basically, if you have an elevated Mach by, let's say, 2 or 3 bricks, you want to make the bottom of that crater like the very bottom of your base plates, and then work up from there so you can actually have some depth to the crater. So that's one of the main tips. But go back. I showed that, I don't know. We're on episode 27, I believe, or 28. Just went up. Go back to like the lower 20s and look around when I was building the beach. You'll see some tips and tricks in those videos. So hopefully that helps you. Train Trent Gaming says, what is the one thing that you want that Lego would put into a set? That's a good question. I don't really buy a lot of Lego sets. Like, I'm looking around and some of these sets I've had forever. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think it'd be cool to see some of the old themes come back, like Avatar and SpongeBob, but if you actually look up the history, those were test trials, and now Mega Bloks owns those licenses, so those are kind of cool old sets, but other than that, I have no idea. Darth Death Row, are you going to add new things to your store? I'm always adding new products. You can't see, but like right here, there's a bunch of new top secret prototypes of some really cool things. I'm really excited. I'll be talking about that more in some of the Business of the Brick episodes. From when I'm recording this, I've only recorded one of those, but you guys loved that video, so I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. So thank you for the question. Lego The Squad 291 asks, do you collect other Star Wars merchandise? I used to. I have a whole bunch of old classic Star Wars action figures and some other things. Other than that, not really, mainly Lego, but like I said, I've kind of stopped. It used to be where Lego would produce, every season, like maybe 5 sets. It'd be like a really big one, a couple medium-sized ones, and then like 2 battle packs. And I would just buy as many of the battle packs as I can to build up my clone and droid army. And then, I'd try to buy every one of the sets. And then they started producing so many of them, and I'm like, I don't have enough money to do this. And like, at first it was I just wanted to have all of them, but then I realized like, hey, I'm actually not using that, or I don't like that set, I'm not going to buy it. So I started kind of cutting back, but yeah. Let's see here. Just Lego 101, how's it going, man? Who inspired you to make and sell customs? It was a combination of the classic duo, Lego Boy at the time and MGF Customs. So Ross and David, good friends of mine now, which is kind of crazy to say. They both know who I am. Every now and then I'll talk to Ross. David I'll talk to at conventions, but it was a combination of making custom one-off minifigures, and then I saw David making, not large quantities, like 50 to 100, I guess is small, the large quantities of his clones and whatnot, and I thought, that's really cool. I've got some cool ideas. I'd like to be able to do that and then offer them to anyone else. So that's kind of what started it. Pablo Companions, can you do a business face reveal? I guess I did. And then he also asked, do you do custom printing for people? Like, can you do requests? Yes, I do. Obviously, it's not very cost effective to do a one-off minifigure, like just one. I have done it in the past. If you have the money, like, we can talk. Once again, shoot me an email. But I like to try to keep things affordable, so it's you're gonna have to buy like 5 or 10 of the minifigures because you have to pay for the design, the parts, printing, all that fun stuff. Easy asks, that's kind of funny. What's your favorite Mach you've built? We've talked about that. Ryan 3C-2B _ please make the Narvik map from Battlefield 5. Once again, I want to get that game played a little bit more, but that is definitely a cool option. OG Joseph asks, how are you going to make the Lego Army figs go up the mountain? Oh, so he's talking about D-Day. So I'm probably not going to have any of them actually going up the mountain. In D-Day, they had ladders, they had grappling hooks that would actually go into mortars. They had a bunch of crazy things to get up that wall. But I don't know if I'm actually going to show that in this Mach. Haven't decided yet. So, let's see. Do you have a passion with custom Lego sets? I like building my own. I used to collect other companies, but now I don't really have the time or the money to do that. That's from Retro Motion. Thank you for the question. Magic Toast says, how many Legos do you have? A lot, as you have seen in videos. What is your favorite Lego person from this Mach? That comes from Cats Watch Anime. I don't really know what you're asking. Maybe you could clarify in the comments and I can get back to you. Let's see. GVO Productions. Will you make a Star Wars Mach in the future? Love your channel, watching you from Portugal. Really? That's awesome. And I probably mispronounced. No. Okay, yeah. Will you make a Star Wars Mach in the future? We had mentioned that. Maybe, maybe not. I really have to be into the subject matter of making the Mach before I want to actually dedicate myself to make it. British Studios 80, are you going to put British Forces or Marines? So it's actually, I'm not going to be adding any British. It's going to be strictly Americans versus German, and it's just going to be standard U.S. soldiers because they weren't actually Marines. Ryan Dude 1312, what was your favorite fan mail? Was it that Flame Trooper, the laser block with your name, random parts? That's a lot to choose from. Okay. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone that sent me fan mail in the first place. You guys do not have to do that, but for whatever reason, you guys feel obligated to, so I appreciate it. I have all of it down here in just a giant bin. There's so much of it, and I've kept every single one of them. I try to reply back to you guys either with a written note. If you guys say to email me, I'll try to type you guys an email. Normally, I send you guys back a little souvenir like a minifigure or something like that. So picking a favorite one's really hard. I did mention, though, you can't see it up here, but I have the laser-etched block, or not block, it was like a slab of wood with the X39 logo in it. That blew me away because when I got that, I didn't know a fan had sent that because I just started looking at it, and then I realized there was a note. I thought some company had sent it to me trying to promote, but no, it was a company, really nice handwritten letter. He talked about some really nice things, so that one really stuck out to me, but all of them are awesome, and I appreciate all of them, so thank you guys. That comes from Ryan Dude 1312. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. Let's see, World War II Soldier 87. What type of building techniques, structures, or designs would you recommend, or a few tips on them? I would say just start building, and look back at my Mach videos when I'm starting to build the Machs themselves, and you can learn a little bit from that. Corporal asks, how much money do you make and how much money would it cost if I asked you to print a custom minifigure? So one-off minifigures, you're looking at $40 for a design, plus the parts, which are going to be maybe another couple, maybe $5, plus the printing, which is going to be another $10. So you start doing the math, just to do one figure, it's going to add up quick. So, but if you do 10 figures, then you take that $60 for a design, and now it's only $6 per figure. And now things start to get cheaper, so you can kind of start to see how that works out. I'm not going to answer how much money I make. That doesn't really matter. With what type of plastic do you mold your pieces? That comes from Nintendo Bricks Films. I use all ABS plastic. That's the same plastic that Lego uses, so I try to keep it consistent. It's great plastic, works good for what I do, so I don't think I'm going to change that. Rigid Thunder 359 SO. Once you have finished everything with the D-Day Mach, can you make a stop motion? I will not. We had mentioned that before. PYG Chimp. When are you going to start making the Lego weapons? I already started. I've been making Lego weapons for a while, and I'm continuing to make new ones. They're coming for you, the Wyatt home. Will you ever build a Lego missile silo? Will I ever build a missile silo? Probably not. Justin Helton, can you give me Legos? I cannot just be giving out free Legos, unfortunately. Raw Key, what is your top 5 Lego themes and one favorite set from each? Star Wars, the original Turbo Tank, Indiana Jones, the one set with like the boulder. 3, oh boy, I'm running out already. Trying to look around. If UCS counts as a set, I really like the General Grievous. City, I like some of the old classic sets, like the police minifigures and stuff like that. What's another theme? Ghostbusters, that's a really cool one. The main Ghostbusters building, that was cool. Let's see here. Where do you get the money to buy your Lego, and where do you work? If you don't work yet, how old are you? I've answered all those questions, so hopefully that helps out there. That was from Exploding Mushroom. Trenton Switzer, why don't you make Lego Zombies? That's a great question. A lot of people want me to. I might be doing that in the future. Rebel Bricks, where do you keep all your minifigures? So for my store, there's my closet with all my inventory, and then for personal stuff, either in Stanley cases or there's other bins, like I said, underneath these tables, and I'm looking at them. They're behind another table back there. Let's see, Frostbite. Do you build all your vehicles or do you buy them? Love the Mach so far. Thank you. Glad you like it. So most of the vehicles I built. Some of them I buy. I used to buy a lot, but then it just got too expensive. So like my good buddy Elliot, he can pretty much design anything. If you guys remember the large armored train from the Sinai Desert, he designed that and I built that. And because no one was making it at the time, and if they were, it'd probably be a fortune. So that's why I made it myself. That actually might be a kit in the near future, by the way. Let's see. Dimitri 1914. Hi, ClonetrooperX39. Can you make one of the Russians or Soviet battles in World War II? I hope you can make it. I actually did. The Battle of Moscow was my first Mach series. Check that out. It was more or less a extension of the Battle of Barbarossa. But yeah, so I've kind of already done that. Cool Guy 7, how old were you when you started Lego World War II? Probably about 8 or 10, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. Jack asked, will you ever do a Star Wars Mach? We had mentioned that. Aaron Sinclair, will you do British paratroopers? Maybe. How do you remove printing on Lego parts? I think I did a video on that. Go ahead and check ClonetrooperX39. Yes, I actually did. I know what the thumbnail is, actually. Type it in on YouTube, ClonetrooperX39, how to remove Lego printing. There should be a video on that. And then, let's see here. Zach Milk Games asks, you should make the Lego Battle of the Bulge. I actually did a really long time ago, maybe in like 2012. If you type that in, once again, ClonetrooperX39, Battle of the Bulge, there should be like an old stop motion and then maybe a couple weekly updates with me showing it. Let's see. Can you make... I don't know what that's asking. When will you have all your kits back in stock from Wolf Medic? Mentioned that already. What do your friends think of what you do? Do they know? And that's from the Clawed Lobster. So, at first, nobody had... Okay, well, I can't say that. Well, yes, I can. Okay, so at first, my close friends knew what I was doing because they were always at my house and they saw what was happening. Some of the other people at school did not know, however. It was kind of just, I never talked about it. But now, with not only the company, but I've been on like radio interviews in the newspaper and whatnot, it's kind of hard to hide it. And people have started to kind of, I want to say, grow up in a sense that they understand what I do now. I'm not actually playing with Lego. I'm actually building. I'm doing injection molding. I'm doing machining, 3D printing. So I'm doing manufacturing around a toy industry, more or less. So I guess that's a good way to put it. So, but at first there was not a lot of people knew about it. I didn't talk about it. I'll probably do another video on that because that's another subject I get questions about quite often. So Flying Eagle Aviation asks, do you mold the weapons you sell by yourself? Yes, I do. It's either me or my cousin Jackson or one of my other friends. Sometimes I have them over and we just rock out to music and mold parts for you guys because you guys buy a lot of parts, especially the Mark V Halo armor. K9 Duster 909 asks, how do you print on Lego? We mentioned that already. How do you print on your Lego and it's expensive? From Toad Horizon, already mentioned that. Why did you quit Lego Star Wars? From Dark Spork. That's a great name and your profile picture is amazing, good sir. I have not really quit Star Wars. That's kind of what started my channel when I was younger. Just not into it as much. I really like history side of things, so I've kind of moved on, but I'm not saying I won't ever go back. Let's see. Betro TV asks, what is your favorite era to build? World War I, World War II, or Modern Warfare? So, I've done more World War II than anything. World War I did enjoy that. I want to do Modern, like really badly, so that's something I'd like to do next. Let's see. Aiden Stop Vlogs says, Indie Day, how many Germans would we put in the Mach? I want over 10. There's going to be over 10 on the top, because the bunkers are going to be packed. There's going to be ones laying on the ground that have been shot. There's going to be a good, I'd say like 20 or 30 up top, so there's going to be more than 10. Blaine asks, what's your favorite thing about Lego? That is a very broad question, but that's a very good question at the same time. I like it. I mentioned this in an interview I did, because it got brought up, like, why don't you do work with clay or like toy soldiers or action figures? I like Lego because you can be more creative with it. You can, like, if you took a Lego set, there's just endless possibilities. You could either build that specific set or you could build whatever your imagination can think of. And that it's not only the toy itself. I enjoy learning about the manufacturing processes behind it, hence why I'm a machinist now. I build injection molds and whatnot, which I can directly relate with how these little guys are made. And it's really cool, and I like the engineering and the manufacturing side of it probably almost equally as the creativity that I can express with it. Very good question, by the way. Mark O'Lock, why don't you build a modern city like just like Budapest? I'm not really into building cities and whatnot. Some of the other people on Instagram and whatnot are really into that. That's just not, I don't find interest in doing that. Okay, we got a big one here. Ian D3R Gamer asks, how are the soldiers going to get up the cliffs on Omaha? The cliffs weren't really cliffs. They were more like steep hills that the soldiers could walk up. But also, so I'm going to stop there. We mentioned that already, so I'm not going to cover that again. Also, how much does it cost for you to build this scaled Mach? Honestly, I am a big fan and you've inspired me to do Machs of my own. However, the cost of this many pieces does limit my ability to make ambitious projects. Keep up the great work and keep making these awesome videos. First of all, thank you for the kind words. So, like I said, start small. You know, you can make a 16 by 16 base plate Mach, like a mini Mach or vignette, as they're called. Start with that. Slowly start gathering up your pieces. Maybe start then with a green 32 by 32 base plate, then move up to a 48 by 48. Then start tacking on multiple of them, and just slowly start building up. One big advice I can give you guys to your Mach builders out there is, I personally, this is just my opinion, I personally have a small really detailed Mach versus a large, not very detailed Mach. That's why I was very hesitant to do the Sinai Desert that big, because when it gets that big, it's going to cost a lot to make it as detailed as something that's half the size, if you understand what I'm saying. So luckily the Sinai Desert was pretty much just sand. So some of the hills, there wasn't much detail I could add, which was kind of a cop-out for me to make that Mach that large. But that's why I really like D-Day and then Palilu, because it was so small and densely packed with detail. I think that's way better than making as big of a Mach as you can possibly make. Don't worry about that. Worry about detail. So start small, slowly build up your piece count, and you'll be able to make some pretty cool Machs. Alright, Cool Bricks Animations asks, can you please build more anti-aircraft guns? That's in the work, don't worry. You should do your next battle is the Battle of the Somme. I've gotten that suggestion before. Maybe, maybe not. Where do you live? I live in Washington State. The Hood asks, have you got any tips for beginners when it comes to getting a large amount of minifigures for Machs? Same thing, just start slowly. We talked about decaling, painting. You just got to start somewhere, start saving up, and try to look for some good deals out there, because they're definitely out there. Mattis Nickerson asks, how much Lego did you start off with? Like a couple sets. And then I slowly kept building up my inventory as far as building battle packs, collecting sets and whatnot. Then I started buying sets and not actually building them. You know, if it was an ATTE, I didn't buy it to build that ATTE. I built it, or I bought it for the parts. So I started building up my pieces that way as well. And then I ended up, there's one point where I had a bunch of Lego sets. I just took them all apart for the pieces. Not only for the pieces, but to make more room in my Lego room. Where do you get the money to buy all that Lego? Keep working. Great. That's from Z Manel. Already answered that. Thank you for the question, though. Let's see here. Sean Howes, will you ever do any more Halo weapons, especially ones that nobody else makes? I love the plasma rifle, and I would love even more to see the carbine, Halo 2 beam rifle, the fuel rod cannon. Be a good opportunity for double or even triple overmolding. I also think you could do medieval stuff very well. Keep up the great work. Yes, I'm doing a lot of Halo in the future. I have some great visions for those specific guns and weapons. I have, like you said, triple or double overmolding. There's some really cool things I want to try. So in the future, yes, I will be doing those. For right now, like I said, there's a couple things up here. I got to get those done, and then it's going to be a lot of Halo and some cool stuff. I haven't really thought about doing medieval stuff. I think it'd be cool to do some of the basic swords and whatnot, swords and daggers, maybe some RuneScape stuff. That would be cool. I would be really passionate about doing that. I love that game. And that game has a big role in this channel that you guys don't know about. I'll do a separate story about that later. How do you design your figs, Photoshop, paint, etc., and what do you like the most and least about Lego, broadly speaking? Lego's expensive. That's kind of my main answer to that. So it's hard to get into, like you guys are talking about. How do you design your figures? Adobe Illustrator is what my designers mainly use. Any of the things I design, it's either in Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator. So an Adobe product of some sort. Let's see here. What got you into Lego World War II stuff? Mainly history, and that comes from Demetrius Rose. Z Savage asks, do a tank battle. Pin this if you love your fans. Guess what I'm going to do right now? Your comment has been pinned. So, maybe might do that. I'm not too sure. Let's see here. PK Films, what Mach will be next? Like I said, Halo, military, or Star Wars. Let's see. Lego Master General asks, after D-Day Mach, can you do the Somme battle? What's your favorite Mach you've done so far? We've answered both those questions. Do a Black Hawk Down Mach from Bacon Hair 200 or 2000. That's a good one. I've never actually seen that movie. I've read about the incident. Once again, that might be a good option to do a modern military one. Let's see. Devin Phil, hey, you should make a new minifigure, possibly a World War II American in a ghillie suit. That's a cool idea. I'll have to add that to my list. But for right now, like I said, got some main things I got to focus on, get those out of the way, and then I can start looking at some of these newer ideas. Classic Murderer, are you going to be making a German World War II paratrooper? Also, how much will it cost? I don't know if I'll be making one of those, and it'd probably be $15 to $20. The Gaming Dino has a couple questions here. What state do you live in? Washington. How can you make more Panzer Jaggers? I really want one. Also the LVT, we talked about that. How do your mocks look so good when I build mocks? Mine fail miserably. It's all perspective, I think, because I personally think D-Day doesn't look good now, but everyone's telling me it looks good, so I'm kind of like, oh, I guess maybe I'm wrong. So, like I said, just start building up your inventory of parts. Smaller and detailed, in my opinion, is better. So just start somewhere. Muffin Man Studios, how do you get minifigures from your store? You go to my website and you buy them. We got another one here. Chess ZZ, hey, first you built a World War II mock, and then you did a Sinai Desert, which was World War I, and now you're making D-Day mock, which is World War II. My question is, are you going in order from World War I, modern day? Because if so, the Korean War would be next. So, and also, good job on these mocks. Keep it up. Korean War, I've thought about it. Probably not going to do it, but I'm not really going in an order. I'm just doing whatever I feel like, and I've always wanted to do a D-Day mock for a long time. Daniel's Builds asks, can you look up old micro cars and pick one that's your favorite, and then say the name or show a picture, and then build it in Lego? I'm not really much of a car guy, so sorry, man. J Snabs 55, how do you print your minifigures? We talked about that. Tiny Lego, so does any Lego military or just Lego business sponsor you or donate Lego to you, or do you just buy Legos? I just buy them. No one sponsors me. I've not had a sponsor. I don't really want a sponsor because it kind of dictates what you can and can't do. So, Weird Child asks, I've asked this before, but you know how I'm Saving Private Ryan. I think he means in Saving Private Ryan, the Germans have those snake tongue barricades to keep out the Higgins boats. Will you add that to your mock? Yes, I will be adding more barriers and obstacles to my mock for sure. How much does it cost to print on your minifigures? I'm not going to talk about costing. That's from 3 Yodas. We're almost done here. What is your favorite World War II battle from Lego Pack? That's a hard question. I honestly don't know. F1RS Shadow, I think that's what it's supposed to say. Hey, could you do a face reveal at 60K? We're not at 60K yet, but you guys should help me get me there because I'd love that. Sleeping Cat Productions, what would you say the most challenging part of any mock is? Planning, for sure. Planning how you want it to look. Brick Gamers 101 asks, can you make the power armor from Fallout 4 or the Lone Survivor? Working on something. Hint, hint. So I can actually unplug my phone now. Let's see. Yeah, so Blue Frog, what is the square root of 29? I have no idea. When you think it will be done, I'm assuming he's talking about D-Day, and that's from Sean Barry. Like I said, 5-10 weeks, hopefully. We got a long one here. Vilma Suez, did you have a problem in school, like teasing you, saying you still play with Legos or grow up? And if yes, did you pass that part in life? And will you just make the Blitz? Oh, he's got 2 separate questions here. So we had talked about that before. Yes, I did get teased a lot. And then, will you make the Blitzkrieg mock like the Battle of France or the invasion of Poland? Anyways, your vids are amazing. Thank you. Probably not those mocks. There's so many mocks out there, and I don't have that much time in the world, so I'm trying to pick some of them, the ones I think are the coolest. Did you steal the design for your Panzer Jagger kit from Cyrus the Elder? No, actually, if you look back, there was a weekly update where Elliot, or Lego Guy 830, I met him at BrickCon, and we started talking, becoming friends. He actually came over to my house. His dad dropped him off, and we actually sat down, and he was going to show me how he builds tanks, because he's an amazing vehicle builder. And we were like, let's build the Panzer Jagger, because no one's really done it. There were a couple people on Flickr that had done it, but we're like, let's sit down and build that. So we sat down for a whole day, and we were taking parts off of my Lego Star Wars models to build this thing, and we built this Panzer Jagger completely in one day. You know, it was like a full 8 hours, but we built it completely original just by looking at reference pictures online. We had printed some off, and then I turned it into a kit like 3 years later. So I did not steal the design. We actually created it. Will you have plans after school to make a company like Brickmania or close to that big? From Vilma Suez. I don't know how to pronounce this or say this properly. There's going to be some big changes in the next couple months with all of this, so just stay tuned for that. Joshua Rees, you should build another World War II Mach since you have the figures for it. That's a good point. Maybe, maybe not. Gabriel Morehouse asks, hey, do you know where I can get a mass order of dark tan base plates? Also, can you please make a tutorial on World War II German planes or know where I can get one? I love your videos, man. I've been watching them since the start, so can I please get a shout out? Well, there you go. I'm trying to read everyone's names out for kind of like a mini shout out. Mass order dark tan base plates. Bricklink.com. Look under all the different dark tan plates, and then I've never built a German plane, so I can't help you there. Just Google around, maybe do some YouTube searches. You could probably find something. Tyler B asks, question, how did you start your business? So I actually started with 2 minifigures that started it all. It was, man, I don't even know if it was the Desert Assassin, and was it the Urban Soldier? I can't remember what the other one was called, but it was, I remember this so vividly. It was the tan packaging. I have one of them somewhere. It was the tan packaging and then like a gray packaging. You guys probably remember the figures. Started by making 10 of each. Cost me like, I don't know, like $200 to get all the parts together. I sold them, and it just was a process. You know, I'd make 10 figures, sell them, take that money, make another 10 figures, and you kind of setting money aside slowly, but then building up your inventory. And I'll put some links in the description of a radio interview and then a newspaper article where I talk about this, so you can read that if you're really interested in that. But just started somewhere. Gaming USA, do you design your minifigures in Adobe Illustrator? Also, what CAD program do you use? So yes, Adobe Illustrator, like I mentioned earlier. CAD programs. For CAD, SolidWorks, Autodesk are great. That's mainly what I use. Or for CAM, if you guys know what that is. If you don't worry about it. But either Mastercam, Esprit, Autodesk, there's a couple of them I use. So Charlie Holt, hi, I have a question. How did you get so great at Lego animating? That must be a mistype because I'm not a good Lego animator at all. So appreciate it though, Charlie Holt. Lego Builder 15, why do you keep upcoming products a secret? Because that's the whole point. Once they're released, then it's like a big reveal. But like I said, I'm looking at some really cool prototypes I'd love to show you guys right now, but otherwise things might get stolen, so as far as ideas go, so I gotta just get those done and out into the marketplace. We should almost be done with this. Alexander Wolf, what is your favorite Lego weapon or figure? We talked about that already. Reagan Smits, could you do a face reveal? That's awkward. Mark Oms, 18, answer me on YouTube. I am right now, maybe. I don't know, maybe send me a message. Olin Guck, how do you detail your mocks? A lot of small pieces, just little things like craters, grass, stuff like that. Chaz asks, how difficult is it to 3D print your own weapons? So my weapons aren't 3D printed, they're injection molded. Like we talked about earlier, 3D printing, just not there yet as far as the technology goes. Can you build futuristic minifigures? Not really, other than Halo. That comes from Jonathan Hernandez. Out of time 1000 or 000. Can you do a giveaway for bricks, like a real good giveaway on a big video? If we get to 100,000, I'll give away something crazy. Let's see. Philip asks, how did I get all these Legos? We talked about that. What will I do? Asks, have you ever used the United Bricks figures? They have some really awesome, detailed, and decently priced. I've never used them. I've worked with them before. Great guys over there. They're out in the UK, I believe it is. So yeah, I've never actually owned one of their figures though. Angelina, can you make a Lego Despot DOS? That's the second time. Maybe I'll have to look that up. I don't know who that is or what that is, so I'll have to look that up. It's the Fortnighter. When are you going to do another D-Day part? I do those every Sunday. Braylon asks, and what is your favorite Lego character? I kind of touched on that already. I like the Lego Jawa. C-3PO, stuff like that. So some of the classic Star Wars stuff for sure. Stop Mo Text asks, how long were you making things with Legos? Like I said, since I was about 8. We got Vans made of Vans. Your favorite war, the one you know / would like to know the most about in the history of mankind, and if you can explain, then why? Probably the Cold War. I like that espionage era when we had two superpowers kind of battling, but not battling at the same time. I think that was really cool. Spivet and Co. What do you think about the new Brickmania Sherman tank? I have my own Sherman. I don't need another one, so that's kind of my answer to that. Does it cost more to the buyer or the seller for each transaction? From Vilma. I don't know what you're asking there. Oli Hendry asks, how long have you been building Lego Machs for? Touched on that already, probably since I was about 12. Jackson Dean, I do not know who that is. So just says something, not even a question. Good job. Also, what is your favorite Lego minifigures? From Regan. Talked about that already. Laura's channel. Do I think I should buy some custom minifigures? I only have 60 euros or pounds. Up to you. If you want to build an army, you could go, like I said, decaling or painting route. If not, you could buy a couple army minifigures. Maybe get like 4 or 5 from some companies. VJM, can you make some tips on how to create a Mach? That's kind of what I show in these D-Day episodes, and then my other Mach videos, I try to show building tips along the way. Mr. Salty asks, how do you get all those different types of bricks over the years? Just time, like you said yourself, over the years. It's just constantly gaining parts every year. You know, you keep the parts unless you sell them off, but you keep them most of the time. Let's see here. What type of flame pieces are you used for your Flame Trooper minifigures? Common flame, large flame, or the flames with the base pins, or any other piece? I think he is referring to the World War I Flame Trooper minifigures. So I use the old school ones that have the pins on the side, so you can actually connect them and make like a shooting strand. So that's what I use. Raw Obama Roll, where do you live? Washington State. Braylon asks, what was your favorite set to build? Probably the Clone Turbo tank. I'm looking at it now. That was my first set. I had a lot of challenges with that. Or the AT-AT. I had the original, like the motorized one. That one was tricky. Richard asks, on your D-Day Mach, what are you using for the seawall? Also, are you doing the US with the Bangalores, breaking barbed wire? That's a good point. I might actually add that, so I'm not too sure yet. Tank Fresh, do you have a favorite Mach? If so, which one is it? I already answered that. Fern Lover, who's your favorite Bricklink seller? I have no idea. I order from so many of them. How do you print your Lego minifigures? From Rob Gills. Answered that already. Have you tried to build Lego planes? If so, do you like them? That comes from Rasmus Kalma. I've not, so I wouldn't know if I like it or not. Man, we should be close to the end. I don't know how long this video is. I'm guessing at least an hour by now. I honestly don't know. My camera hasn't died yet, so... What's your favorite Lego brand? City, Star Wars, etc. From Simon Spurkofico. Star Wars for sure. Can I have a free Lego Q&A? I don't know. That comes from Trashy. LeCool says, do you have any plans in starting a larger Lego printing business? Once again, there's a lot going on in the next 2 months. I can say that much. Buck One Eye. Do you ever put these Machs on display in public? If not, do you show all your friends and family? And if you don't, you should. Thanks. I show them on YouTube. Some of my family members that come over obviously like to see what I'm up to, so they see these. But other than that, some of the older Machs I've brought to conventions like Brick Cascade or BrickCon. But other than that, that's kind of it. Lego Builder 15, how do you start your website? You can, that is, if you go on Google or YouTube, just type that in. You will find a bunch of different answers. So yeah, it's really easy nowadays to start a website for sure. Lavernus Tucker, what got you into Lego? Mainly history, and like I talked about, mainly history, really, like World War II especially. And I just grew up with it. Let's see. What's your favorite Lego piece? From Alexander? Probably, this isn't a piece, this is kind of multiple pieces, but the Lego minifigure I think is genius, or the classic 2x4, I think that's a classic piece there. That's kind of one of their first. Let's see here. Platter Legend, I ordered some minifigures from you and the texture on the torso was really interesting to me. So what type of machine do you use or are working with the company to do them? Please answer my question. I've always wanted to print my awesome minifigures and make a huge army. Thanks for reading my message and you're an awesome guy. Thanks. Well, first of all, thanks for all the kind words. Glad you got something from my store. I appreciate that, and I'm glad that you watch my videos. And we talked about printing before. I do it all myself. It's UV printing. He also asked, will you do another Battlefield Mach? Because I really love the sign edges Mach. Maybe another Battlefield 5 Mach. I got to play the game once that game comes out. Let's see. Jason Wong, which company do you choose to print your figures, or do you just buy a printer and print it yourself? I print it myself. Herpes Goder Bot, can you sell some Hitman figures? Once again, something on my idea list. The Unknown Soldier asks, how much money do you spend on Lego? A lot. Cool Bricks Animations asks, can you make more anti-aircraft guns? Yes, I will. Mylan the Person asks, what was your favorite Mach that you've done? Answered that already, probably Sinai or Battle of Peleliu. Penguin Suit, what are your tips on texturing and layering for a grassy field in a Mach? A good example would be the ground in your jungle in Peleliu. Lots of 2x2, or not 2x2s, 1x2 plates, randomly placed, then put your grass at different layers, stack multiple grass pieces together to make them varying heights. Vilma, once again, how much does each Mach cost and where do you get the money to do it? We've already talked about that. And how much time does it take to research each Mach? So normally with my Machs, I try to watch as many documentaries as I can. I've already known about D-Day forever. Like, I've done all the research possible on D-Day. But for like Sinai Desert, I watched multiple documentaries. I looked up reference images. I've read through Wikipedia, stuff like that. HV Dub 24, how many Lego bricks do you have? A lot. What was your, so this comes from CBLD Alton. What was your biggest achievement? What's your biggest achievement? Any tips for Mach building? I'm also building Omaha Beach and would love for you to give me some tips. Like I said, I try to give as many tips as I can in the videos. Let's see, what's your biggest achievement? Probably sticking with YouTube for this long. I think that's pretty cool. World War II Guy 1, when did you get into Lego and more specifically military Machs? Like I said, probably around the age of 12. How old are you? I'm 18. That comes from Aaron. Bubba Martinez, what's your favorite replica to build? By the way, you're awesome. Thank you. Probably World War II stuff. I'm assuming that's what you're asking. Also, can you make a Nerf gun out of Lego from Straniga Docek? I've thought about doing minifigure size Nerf guns. I think that'd be kind of cool. The Silent Farmer, how do you support your Mach building? Lego is not exactly cheap. We talked about that. What got you in the Lego community? Love the vids. He also asked, this is from Kenji, do you remember me from Brick Cascade, Portland, Oregon? And then do you destroy your old Machs? Yes, I destroyed my old Machs. I don't recognize your name, but if I took a picture or I talked to you, I'd probably recognize you. And then what got you in the Lego community? I was already in it from the start, so I just kind of joined in. Catman, can you build a Mach of Pearl Harbor? I've thought about that. Not really interested into it because that'd be a lot of water. Gaming Plaza asks, how do you get all the Lego minifigures for... It's really hard for me to get World War II minifigures because it's so expensive. They range from $10 to $20 each, which is very disappointing when you're trying to start a Lego community and building Machs. So it's just hard buying it for such a high price, and there's something else you can do instead. Decals are probably your best bet. That comes from Gaming Plaza. Harvey TTBN, do you actually melt Legos to make customs? No, I actually buy plastic pellets. They come in these giant 55-pound bags. They're just little pellets, little beads. You melt those down, and that's how you do the injection molding process. Do you print on Lego torsos? Yes, I do. That comes from Got That Pizza. Fun Guy Studios. I don't know if you do Lego minifigure decals, but I have a problem with some decals, and I was wondering if you could please help me. So my problem is that when I print the decals, they come out too dark and with too much ink on them. I already have tried a few things, but with no success. Please help. So this is me assuming some things. If you're taking decals from, let's say, Google, putting them over to, let's say, like a Word document, make sure your printer settings before you print them on the decal paper are set to high, like the highest resolution, and try printing that again. That should help. That comes from Fun Guy Studios. FM2199 Trader, question mark. Can we get a free Lego American Soldier? Sadly, I cannot. Lil Big Panda 567 face reveal by any chance? Can you give me a shout out? Just kind of did that. Where's How to Be a Nerf Sniper Part 2? That is a great question. My goal is to film that this year. It was last year, but I just keep putting it off. I have the idea in my head, but I don't know. Star Killer 3884, please make a mortar bunker like in Company of Heroes 2. I don't know what game that is, but maybe. Captain Chronicle, can you add some more soldier stuff like mystery packs? And can you make Star Wars The Clone Wars minifigures from like 2005, because I hate the new ones. Probably no to the Star Wars minifigures, but I am working on some cool mystery packs. So hopefully that will spark your interest. The Animation Guy 031, can you make the Lego Battle of Yipes? Yifris, I never knew how to pronounce that. World War I Mach, maybe, maybe not. Pig0105 reviews, do you use pad printing or UV printing? What's your most priced custom figure? So I use UV. Prized figure would be, oh man, I'm trying to think, what like is my first minifigure? I don't know where it is, but it's like the original Mace Windu that came with the Clone Turbo Tank. I love that figure. Yes, a bunch of questions. Good lord. What 3D printers do you use, and have you put a link below? I'm not going to tell you guys what brand I use. I do have an Ultimaker too, though. I've showed that on videos before. How did you start your business? We talked about that. Favorite Mach? We talked about that. What's your favorite Lego set? We talked about that. What is the most useful part for custom minifigures? What's the most useful part of a custom Lego minifigure for custom figs? I don't really know what you're asking. Like paint and super glue, I'm guessing. Panzer Boss _ the Lego custom design. What is your favorite Brickmania kit and why? I really like the original Universal Carrier. That was one of my first kits. Cohen, what is your favorite Lego gun? I have no idea. Brandon Mello, you should build a Lego Call of the Mach no, not the Mega Blocks, the Lego blocks you use. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm assuming something Call of Duty maybe? I'm not too sure though. Have you printed figures yet? Yes, I have, from Benjamin Horn. Kelly asks, what is your advice for starting a website to sell Legos? How should we start a channel, and do you buy your figures and parts from bulk from Bricklink? Bricklink, yes. Just start a website. Just start something and just go from there. How old are you? I'm 18. That comes from the Gonk droid. That's a nice name. And your profile picture is the original Gonk Lego droid. That's pretty cool. Brick Homes and Beyond. I'm not going to read that question, but that's a funny question. Squeaker05, what was your first Lego set? It was the 2005 or 4. I don't know what year it is, but it's the Clone Turbo Tank up there. Who's your favorite minifigure seller? I don't know. That comes from Epic Gamer 32. Can you give Legos away from General Sam 556? I cannot give Legos away, sadly, unless I do a giveaway. Cosmic Agenda, hey there. Things, what are you doing, Millie? Tank blown up on the beach. Then are you adding paratroopers in D-Day? And 3, what's going to be your next Mach? Next Mach we talked about. I will not be doing paratroopers on D-Day, and there will be a tank blown up on the D-Day Mach. Jordan, can you do a Vietnam Mach? That is one of the options when I get to it. Where do you get your Lego parts from? From Roberto, Rosanna, Bricklink, like I said. Homeland, what was your favorite Lego set / series? Lego SpongeBob, Nexo, Knights, City. It's Star Wars for sure. Jackie, can you make a guide on how to make a Lego World War Mach? There's not really much of a guide. It's just kind of look at what's a battle you want to recreate and get some reference pictures and try to recreate that the best of your ability. Dang, I just want... Let's see. Oh, let's see. Okay. Face reveal from Brick Studios 101. How's it going? That's not a question. Can you do more tanks like a martyr and a... I don't know how to pronounce that, from Stormtrooper. Yeah, I will be doing more tanks. Have you ever thought about building a B-25 bomber from Jack? I have. I actually started at one point, but I just stopped because it got so complicated so quickly. Trollex, can you do a Vietnam War Mach? Have you ever done one? Yes, I've done mini Machs, and I started the larger one, the Battle of Saigon, but I stopped. We kind of talked about that before. Daryl Lamb, when will you get done with the bunker on D-Day, and then will you finish D-Day, and maybe will it be episode 30 or 31, 32? I honestly don't know, but I really like your channel a lot. Thank you. He also asked, where do you live? Washington State, and like I said, the Mach should be done in 5 to 10 episodes, so that will be around maybe mid-30s episode-wise. Lego Freak, can you make Star Wars things to put on your website? Maybe in the future. What's your favorite color by Lego Bro Animations, green or blue? Maximum Halvery Carnival says, are you going to make a Lego Vietnam Mach? We talked about that. Go off on Max 360 NS. Can you try to make a Mach of a Zeppelin or a mini version? I'm not taking on. That's a big challenge. Nerd Brick, will you ever do a Civil War or Revolutionary War build? I have thought about that, but I don't know. I just haven't gotten around to it. Gatorades, what do you use to print your figs, and then what do you use to make guns on your website like the SKS? So, talked about UV printing and injection molding already. Matthew Marshall, I'm making a beach and I want the city elevated by 3 bricks tall. Problem is I don't have enough pieces to elevate. Is that at all the way though? Any suggestions how I can fix this problem? So I've actually seen people use like actual wood and take Lego bricks and put them on top of the wood, and they actually sand it down to make it like the perfect height of like 3 or 5 bricks tall, so that way you're not using up bricks. Other than that, you've seen how much filler brick it takes to build like a mountain like that, so it does take a lot of bricks, so I do know what you're going through there. Dog Stop Motion Animation Studios, are you going to put your D-Day Mach in the next... No, I'm not. Brick-A-Vision, how many orders do you receive on your website? Also, could you give me some Operation Desert Storm American Soldiers? If so, could you sell the torso separately? I don't do Desert Storm figures right now, and I'm not going to talk about how many orders I get, but it is a lot. Like I said, you guys order from me a lot. Whoa, we're actually at the last 2 comments here. Lego World War II, are you going to build little Machs and put them on sale? I won't be selling them, but I am bringing back the Mini Mach series, hopefully soon. And then last question, or I guess it'd be the first question, ever considered a Star Wars Mach? Yes and no, we've talked about that before, but I'm going to end this video here. I have no idea how long that video was. It's a minimum of 30 minutes for sure. My camera over there doesn't show me right now, but I want to thank you guys for all your awesome questions. We went through a lot. I can't believe I went through all these in one sitting. I was going to make multiple sittings. I think I got to everyone. Yeah, this video got 1,600 views, and we had, where does it say the comments here? Yeah, 289 comments, so I pinned that one by Zisovich, so check that out, man. But thank you guys so much. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you want me to do these more often? Hopefully we can not have to answer some of these questions. You guys can come up with some new unique questions. Not saying that these weren't unique, but this is a good baseline. Next episode, maybe we could set a subject matter of maybe just World War II questions, or just Mach questions, or just minifigure questions. Those are just some ideas I'm thinking of, but let me know in the comments down below of this video. Let me know what you guys think. I know this is kind of a random video. I don't know what the title of this video is going to be, but if you guys watch till the end, I'm trying to think what's something I could put in the comments down below. Okay, if you guys watched to the end of this video, I want you guys to comment down below. In your comments somewhere, say something about having a nice day. But don't just say have a nice day. Say like, put it in a full sentence so it's not obvious to the other people that might have not watched to the end. I saw someone else do this on a YouTube video and it was pretty funny. So let me know in the comments down below if you guys had a nice day and watched this video to the end. But yeah, guys, what's up? This is ClonetrooperX39 signing off. I'll be doing more videos like this. Obviously, the business of the brick's going to get revamped so you can see me and then all the products that I'm talking about. So let me know what you guys think. This is completely new to me. I've never shown my face on film like this. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully the production quality can improve. I tried playing with some lighting, but it didn't look as good. I thought it would look better, but it didn't look as good. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Give me all the feedback on this video and everything. This probably isn't going to be edited. I might put music over it just to be in the background. I'm not too sure. I'm going to stop talking because I need some water because I'm really thirsty. My throat is dry from all this talking. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.